Hello everyone and welcome back. Hope you're having a great day and we're all doing well. I'm the R6 lore guy, and in this video we're going to be focusing on an operator who has kind of became a bit more prevalent in the lore recently, and in my opinion is sort of starting to find her place. And that operator is Thorn. Now I think Thorn sort of joined the game and the lore in a sort of weird spot. It was the sort of end and finale of the whole stadium arc, which many people, including myself, see as the weakest part of Rainbow Six Siege's lore so far. But in my opinion, they have very much redeemed themselves since and used that story as a launching pad. If you're not aware, the whole stadium arc was actually used to determine which operators would be the best fit to lead each of the squads, which we now have, which I thought was a really positive way to end that arc. And the operators we sort of got at the end of that story arc was Flores, Osa, Thunderbird, and Thorn. I feel like from a story standpoint, Thorn, especially out of those operators, kind of just hasn't really had a major impact on the story, and in my opinion was kind of just a very forgettable character. Well, over the past year there has been a subplot developing with Thorn which I actually have really liked, and I think it's given her a really fun spot inside of Rainbow and has done a very good job to help develop this character even further. And that is her basically being in charge of reworking the recruits training module inside of Rainbow. Now we learned from the story tab from Operation New Blood that Morris was responsible for the original training program, the same one that he says that Ash went through, which is pretty ironic that he would then go on to be the reason that so many recruits were killed at Tower, and in the aftermath of this event all recruit training would be moved back to Hereford for their protection. Now you would have this entire overhaul of their internal recruit training program because of this, which is why we would have a focus on separated strikers and sentries, for example, and in this case the fact that Mira has asked Thorn to completely rewrite the training module for the recruits. Now this isn't just something that she asked her for no reason. In her backstory, when she was training for the Garda, the elite tactical branch to be specific, she finished top of her class and would actually go on to help redesign the unit's obstacle course, referring to the former design as a walk in the park. Her training regimes would actually start to gain some traction, and that's actually what caught the attention of Kuvera. So fast forwarding a few years later, after she's been in the game, she's been part of Rainbow for a while now, she has been asked to use her skills and her knowledge in making these training programs and these obstacle courses to really get the best out of a soldier to use them on the new recruits, which isn't an easy task. Thorn even said herself that that would take months, and just to rewrite it from scratch would be quite a large thing to do. And she sort of seems to think that maybe Mira's just saying this because she's, pissed at Morris and she doesn't want his design to be the integral part of the training regime, with Solace even saying that's like basically repainting the Mona Lisa. But this is a task she would undertake, and by the time of Operation Collision Point, it seems like her new training module is underway, and it actually seems like it may even be harder than the one which Morris created, with Frost saying that she's going to end up killing one of the newbies, and we even have a quote from one of the sentries saying that another one is actually packing their bags and is leaving. So although the training program has been changed and it is now even seemingly harder than it used to be, I do think it is a success, as not only do gameplay wise we have an improved, more expanded upon version of recruits, in the lore, with this more deepened and harder training, you're also going to get the same outcome. And I do just think it is really nice that it feels that Thorn has more of a place in the lore now and just in the story in general. And I think they've done a very good job of taking that aspect of her personality, of her skill set, which was one of the reasons why she was picked up for the program, and using it to benefit Rainbow. It's an aspect that we've seen with many operators before, especially when it comes to operators who are skilled in robotics and technology, when it comes to developing gadgets. Of course, you had Sam Fisher coming in, being an instructor for our operators and using his skill set to help improve them. So I do think it is really nice that Thorn now has a larger purpose inside of the team rather than just being another soldier. She is now there to help improve the future of the team, of these new recruits, and to make a change. Morris is always talking about the failures of the operators, but if he's partially one of the people responsible for training said operators, specifically Ash for example, then how much of the failures which he criticizes them about and always mocks them about is actually his responsibility to begin with? Which seems like there is a lot of hypocrisy there from a man who seemingly thinks that he's never made a mistake. I think it could be cool in further battle passes to hear from more of the strikers and sentries, specifically about this whole training module which Thorn has created. And I do wonder how this will play into the current arc, because although this story has been developing about Thorn over the past year as well, we've also had this whole thing with like the recruits being recalled back to Hereford, and then we've had in the most recent battle pass for Operation Collision Point that the Hereford seems to be under attack. All the comms are down and everything. We don't exactly know what's going down there. We're going to have to wait and learn more about that lore at the current point of upload. But I guess we are going to actually see if Thorn's training module is working, if it is good, because you have to remember these are soldiers being trained to potentially become operators and to also fight threats such as the Kirez Legion. This version of Rainbow is a lot different to the one which Morris was a part of. So I think having an updated training regime and having this whole new way of, you know, an actual hands-on current operator training them, rather than having a playbook which is decades old, especially being made by the person which is actively trying to take them down. I mean, if you know how every recruit is being trained, since you are the one who done that originally, then it'd be quite easy to exploit their weaknesses and capabilities you may know they might or might not have. So I do think that this has been a very good form of character development for Thorn. Again, like I was saying, this was a character I feel like was very underwhelming ever since she came out, both in gameplay. I still think she's very weak in gameplay, and I think she's one of the most shallow operators, shall I say, and definitely from a lore perspective as well. I thought she was kind of lacking, but now she's went from being just another operator who is in the team to a quite massive part of the team now, and I wonder if she'll be a part of the Rainbow operations staff going forward. That is an aspect of the team which hasn't been delved into that much. As far as I'm aware, the only two people we truly understand who are part of it is Mira and Zero. I have a feeling as well though, based on these battle passes over the past year, that Tachanka may be a part of it as well. Maybe he might be the new defending recruit lead. That is pure speculation, but if Mira is still the defending recruit lead, not only is she then training the defending sentries, she's also working in the lab creating new gadgets such as the one for Blackbeard. I feel like someone may need to take some weight off of her shoulders, and based on Tachanka popping up a few times interacting with the recruits, I see him as a great fit to be the defending recruit lead and keeping Sam as the attacking recruit lead. But yeah, this was a really good piece of world building. I really hope we get to see this happen more with some of the operators who haven't really been as developed as Thorn has been, for example. And we could start to see their true place in the team and in the lore, and really just continue to flesh out these operators. I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.